Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. So one of the largest news stories that we continue to talk about on this channel is accumulation of Bitcoin. Why? Because I want to make sure that as I go over cryptocurrency news on a daily basis here and on my other channel known as The Modern Investor, I let everyone out there know constantly how much Bitcoin is being accumulated by the wealthiest people on the planet. I've made about 85 billion of these videos already just on this channel alone, where we basically go over whenever there's a large company who's buying huge amounts of Bitcoin. Why is this significant? Because if you missed it before in a couple of other videos, the number is, if you took all the Bitcoin that could ever be and you evenly distributed it amongst every person on the planet, you would get, I can't hear you. The number is 0.003 Bitcoin. So whenever we have news that there is a company who bought 47 Bitcoin, that is 4 and 7, they're essentially taking away Bitcoin from thousands of people around the world who would otherwise been able to have accumulated that 0.03 Bitcoin. Same exact thing goes when there is a company who is buying 18,000 Bitcoin at one given time, you understand. I make sure to bring this news to all of you. I was going to say the masses, but you understand. Simply because I want you to understand the amount of accumulation that's happening within the Bitcoin space, because there are not a lot of Bitcoin out there, and the number continues to dwindle. You may hear or see that new Bitcoin are being created or mined or whatever by other companies and entities, and a lot of times people conflate the idea of new creation of Bitcoin with no additional demand, in that there are people who believe that Bitcoin is being minted or created, but the amount on cryptocurrency exchanges remains the same. That is also not true. We've gone over that before because we can see that, and I'll try to remember to also link this as well. I'll try and remember. The amount of Bitcoin on cryptocurrency exchanges continuously is decreasing. Meaning that the amount of Bitcoin currently available for everyone on the planet continues to drop more and more every day. I think that the idea of there being 8 billion people on the planet and hearing the number 21 million next to it, a lot of people aren't really putting those two together in understanding that every single person on the planet cannot own an entire Bitcoin, cannot own half of a Bitcoin, cannot own 1/100th of a Bitcoin. And this is only made truer whenever we get news such as this. One of the largest analytic companies within the cryptocurrency space, they're known as Glassnode. They look inside of the nodes because they're made of glass. I don't know what the name is supposed to be. Anyway, the point is, we often get news of the wealthiest buyers of Bitcoin all the time. This news is actually quite special to me in that it shows that normal people are finally paying attention with everything that's been going on. We now have definitive proof that the largest companies on the planet are actively into Bitcoin. This tells me and wealthy people on the planet that Bitcoin is here to stay, is its own mega asset class, as this coin by itself has reached over $1 trillion market cap. And people believe that during the next bull run, which we are apparently less than a year away from, allegedly, that Bitcoin is probably going to have a 10x in price. And this is where we get those really crazy $250,000 to $500,000 Bitcoin price predictions. It says in a bullish display of conviction, retail holders, there are retail and institutions. Institutions are the larger companies, and we are the retail buyers, with less than 1 Bitcoin, referred to as shrimps. For some reason, there's a whole bunch of like animal kingdoms within the cryptocurrency space. You know whales, but there are also other animals as well. Basically, whales hold, I think it's over 10,000 Bitcoin, and every other number below that. So if you hold 1,000, you're in another category, 500, another category, 100, you kind of get the idea. Shrimps apparently are accumulating more Bitcoin than people creating Bitcoin are actually issuing every single month. the numbers are, from what we currently have, for every 1 Bitcoin that is created, shrimps are currently accumulating collectively 1.25 Bitcoin. That is to say that for every Bitcoin that's being made, this much is being eaten. Can anyone, why do I keep hitting the microphone? Can anyone tell me why this is significant? It is abundantly clear. This only includes people who are in the shrimp category. This does not include people who are above the shrimp, who might be orcas or whatever, whales or tigers or bears, whatever the other animals might be. Specifically, retail investors who are holding less than a Bitcoin are accumulating more Bitcoin than is currently created. What happens when you go to the next level and it's for people who have over 10 Bitcoin? How many are they accumulating? When you get to the idea all the way up of a whale, we know that there are companies. These companies are not buying a single Bitcoin at any given time. MicroStrategy is not buying 1 Bitcoin and going, I think we're good. I think we're not going to buy any more Bitcoin here. They're buying 13, 15, 25,000 Bitcoin at one time, and that's just one company. I've mentioned before, this is an opinion, but it's also simply a mathematical fact. The supply and demand ratio on Bitcoin is absolutely insane. There is now more demand for Bitcoin than there's ever been before, when the price is roughly, at the time of me making this video, around $30,000 per Bitcoin. We've seen before that when Bitcoin's price goes up, the amount of interest continues to expand as well, and people buy like they're absolutely insane. With the current demand at these price levels, where does that get us when Bitcoin's at 42,000, 49,000, 56,000? When Bitcoin is a smidge away from its previous all-time high, where does that put us? How much extra Bitcoin, and I say this lightly, the camera is having so many problems, it keeps flickering on and off. Where does that put us, price-wise and accumulation-wise, for the lowest, the shrimps at the bottom of the barrel? If they're accumulating 1.25 now, how much more in a frenzy are they accumulating for every Bitcoin that's been created? How much more will we hear from the larger companies who are accumulating? There's a list somewhere. I'll try and remember to put it in the description. There's always so many things that I keep saying in these videos that shows, for those of you who don't know, the United States does not currently have a physical Bitcoin ETF. However, there are at least 15 other countries that actually do. They have physical Bitcoin ETFs in that they are actually legally able to buy up Bitcoin. That's also a massive number for them as well. They are buying huge amounts of Bitcoin all the time. Do you understand what I'm getting at? If 1 Bitcoin is created and just the shrimps are buying 1.25, what does that number actually look like if we factor in every other animal, every other person on that scale? How many other people are buying 1 million Satoshis per month? If you have 100 people buying 1 million Satoshis, that is an entire Bitcoin. What happens? How many rich people are there in Dubai, in Singapore, in New York, who are buying a Bitcoin every month? You've seen those YouTube videos. I make $250,000 per month because I have 900 properties. What if they're buying 2 Bitcoin a month? That's double the amount of that 1 Bitcoin that's actually being produced by the computer. I think we're on the verge of something. Sorry for being so intense in this video. Seeing this news, I'm already bullish. I'm basically a perma bull on this space because we continue to get an avalanche of very good news all the time within the cryptocurrency market. When I bring you the news and it's mainly whales, that always gets me going because it's this really weird, like, cool. Every time a Bitcoin is created, we keep hearing that a company owns 38,000 Bitcoin, 150,000 Bitcoin. And I'm like, everyone pay attention. They're taking away an entire Bitcoin from 149,999,000 other people who are out there, can never ever own an entire Bitcoin. So when I hear that even us, normal people, are paying attention and are buying up more than is actually created, and that's just the shrimps, I'm happy that people are buying. Bitcoin is for the masses. Bitcoin is not for the wealthy. Bitcoin is to make us wealthy. This is the point of it. This is why Satoshi Nakamoto created it, so that we can have a free, fairer economic system. And Bitcoin is made for everyone out there, not the people who are already millionaires and billionaires, so that they can become 100 billionaires and trillionaires. It's meant for everyone else. So when I hear that normal people are buying, and they're buying more that's been created, I think we are on the verge of something crazy during the next bull run. And the word's not justified, but I feel like we've been waiting for this moment for so long, and it's finally going to happen. And it just makes me insanely happy. Yeah. So I'm going to post the link to this article. I'm also going to post the other one for like the animal descriptions. Apparently there are shrimps, crabs, octopuses. You're an octopus. Jeez Louise. If you hold between 10 to 50 Bitcoin, who made these things up? I don't know. A fish, a dolphin, a shark. If you have 500 to 1,000 Bitcoin, Bitcoin, I feel like I'd just be on an island somewhere. No one would know where I was. Whales, humpback whales. And they also have the crypto exchanges and people who are mining as well. It's a really crazy chart. There's also another thing of who has the largest Bitcoin wallets as well. That'll also be in the description below. Yeah, I think we have very good times ahead of us, especially as we don't know how much BlackRock and Fidelity are accumulating. They're not waiting to accumulate when they finally receive the go-ahead from the SEC for their ETF. They have subsidiaries who are buying and holding tons of Bitcoin. Never, ever forget the predictions that we keep getting from these financial institutions of an eventual $500,000 to a $1 million Bitcoin. I think, I think that's definitely going to do it for this video. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, or great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.